Don't you hate the feeling when you spend your cold, hard cash and your night out on the town, you go to a movie and you walk out disappointed?
I hate that.
You know, I've been there.
It's the worst. Well, that is why we have our entertainment reporter, Jim Ferguson. He gets to learn more about the movies and the stars for us before we head out. Jim, what movie are we talking about today?
We're talking about a Thomas Hardy literary classic, From The Maddening Crowd. And I want the star of the movie, Carey Mulligan's co-star. We have his name here. And journalists came out, we did this in New York, they'd come out, oh my God, I blew it. How do you say this guy's name? Okay, okay, ladies.
All right, I'm gonna let Tina go first.
He's from Belgium.
Oh, that doesn't help me. I'm not one of those people. Matthias Schoenaerts.
That's what we were told, but Heather says the correct.
I'm going to use the German pronunciation for my grandmother who's watching. Matthias Schoenaerts.
That's probably the correct way, yeah. But nobody got it right. They just kept saying, like, you just said Schoenaerts.
Yeah.
But anyhow,
Am I wrong?
No, that's the way.
Is that how people are saying
it? And Heather agreed with me. If he went to Broadway today on stage, he's done a lot of stage work in Europe. Yeah. They'd probably change his last name.
Yeah.
You know,
something.
Yeah, exactly.
Easier.
But anyhow, he's a fine young actor. Is going to be a big star. He had a nice little role. And remember the drop that I did with Tom Hardy and Felicity Jones? He was in that movie too. He's coming up, and you're going to see him a lot, I think. But in this movie, From The Maddening Crowd, he plays Carey Mulligan's neighbor. She owns a farm, and he's a sheep herder, and he falls in love with her. And it's interesting because his character's name is Gabriel Oak, and he's the oak in her life. Okay, here's Matthias.
It is my intention.
Would you agree with me that Carey Mulligan's character, Ms. Everdeen, Thomas Hardy's 1874 novel, is timeless?
Absolutely. That's what I think. Every brilliant work of art stands above time and above context. So it's timeless and universal. Absolutely.
She would fit in today.
Yeah, and I think all of these characters, all of the emotional dynamics that are going on between all of these characters, I think people can relate to them.
Mm-hmm,
absolutely.
I do too.
And I think men can relate to Bathsheba, and women can also relate to all the men, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. So that, I think, is proof of
Hardy, a genius, is writing these characters and developing them. Your character, Gabriel Oak, I thought his name, both names, was fitting. Gabriel, the good angel.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
And Oak, the strong,
solid. Yeah.
It's fitting.
Yeah, totally. That was one of the first ideas I had when I read the script. I was like, no, that is not a coincidence. Especially, such a writer, he doesn't give that character that name by accident. Mm-hmm. There's this, without being explicit about it, but there's this kind of connotations going on.
Well, I felt that your character, probably of all the men in Ms. Everdeen's life, knew her the best.
I think because he was the only one who was selfless.
Yeah.
He always had a very honest look to where she was in life and what she wanted to do, and he was always very generous. And despite the fact that he's insanely in love with her, and of course he would love her to be with him, he accepts the fact that if she wants to be somewhere else, that he has to let her go. Yeah. And that is true love in the end. Mm-hmm. And all the other men are like more about themselves. Yeah. They want to own her somehow. And Gabriel is like, no, I don't want to own you. If your heart is there, I'll love you enough to let you go.
The last film version was 1967, 48 years ago. Good time to re-release it with a new cast and a new script, in your opinion?
Well, yeah, maybe. I never thought of it that way. And I've never seen the original version. Because I didn't want it to influence me on whatever level. But I want to see it now that we finished this film. Right. But I think it's always time for stories that are all about truthfulness. It's always time for that.
Yeah, and I agree with Matthias. It is about truthfulness and friendship and love. It's a beautiful story. It's timeless. Thomas Hardy wrote this in 1874. Her character, it'd be a modern-day lady today.
Oh, okay.
That's how far ahead he was. We're going to have Carey Mulligan on Friday. This is kind of interesting about her character. You love the Hunger Games, right?
Yes.
Love the Hunger Games.
Caitlin Everdeen.
Yes.
This is Bathsheba Everdeen. The author of Hunger Games took her last name from Thomas Hardy.
Oh my
That
gosh.
is very interesting.
Isn't that kind of interesting? Yeah. Now, the director of this show, we all know well, Chris
Right.
Moore, is from England, and this was shot in Dorset County. It hasn't changed, they said, in 150 years. It's just a beautiful setting. I really recommend Far From The Maddening Crowd. It's really good. Yeah. And Carey, the star of the movie, will be here on Friday with us.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
looking forward to that.
yeah.
Yeah, she's wonderful. She was nominated for an Oscar for an education. And just one of the best young actresses around. And Heather, we were just talking, she could get a nomination for Best Actress for this role.
You think so?
I think so.
Well, you usually have pretty good
Yeah,
insight.
you do
so
really
I
good
trust
predictions.
your
I don't say
judgment.
that too often.
Yeah.
No, I think you've been spot on ever since I've known you. So we're going to keep an eye out for
Have
them.
a good movie going week.
Yes,
Well,
thank you so much, Jim.